Hi, welcome back. Well, as I promised, I am back with another informative video, and as you can see from the title, in this video I'm going to tell you more about the cost of living of an international student in Indonesia. So in case you are planning to move to Indonesia for your studies, I hope this video might be helpful for you to do all the budgeting stuff. But before I could start, let me just quickly introduce myself. Hi, I'm Mansi. I'm originally from India, currently living in Indonesia and pursuing my bachelor's degree in computer science at Universitas Kusuma, Surabaya. And that is it. Let's begin. So, just to let you know, I am a KNB scholarship student, which is a fully funded scholarship given by the government of Indonesia for students to pursue their higher study in the country. And this video, the breakdown is going to be more based on the stipend, the living allowance that I get, but don't worry, it will be very helpful for you to estimate how much cost it will be for you, even if you are like a self-funded student or a half scholarship student. So I took down some notes. So when it comes to the allowance that we get, we have three different checks. First one is a living allowance, which is for like food, accommodation and stuff. Second one is our health insurance, and third one is book allowance. So for the living allowance, we get 4.7 million per month to do our to cover our accommodation, food and other hanging out stuff. We get 400k, which is 4 lakh Indonesian rupiah, as a health insurance, which is just automatically deducted by the company every month from a bank account. And the third one is a book allowance, which is for us to buy books related to academic stuff, and then maybe Xerox copies and research stuff. So if we take a note, then in total we get 4.7 plus 300, which is around 5 million per month. And the health insurance we can ignore. But if you are a self-funding student, or if you are half scholarship student, I think I'm not sure, but it is recommended for you to get a health insurance for yourself, because in case there is an emergency in Indonesia, you have some health complications, it's better to have a health insurance and have everything covered. So you can calculate the health insurance into your budget. It's 400k for us. It can vary depending on the company you choose and the plan that you choose. So let's talk about the 5 million that we have. From the 5 million, let's keep the 3 lakh aside, because obviously we need books, we need to do our academic research and all, so we need the money. Now we have a 4.7 million living allowance in our hand, and the most important thing is the place where we live. So when it comes to accommodations in Indonesia, the cost really varies depending on the place you live. Let's take example of my university. My university doesn't have any hostel or dormitory specifically for students. So what we have to do is we have to rent out a place outside the campus and then live there. But let's talk about your dormitory. In case your campus has a dormitory for international students or just students in common, then as far as I know, the cost might be around 300 to 600k. But this 300 to 600k dorm, they involve a shared room. Like there might be 4 or 2 students in a room and you live in sharing. That's how the dorm, which are 300 to 600k, will be for you. 300, let's say there are 4 people in one room. For 600, there will be 2 people in one room. But if you want your own privacy and you want a separate room, then I think in college dorms too, it will be around 1 to 1.5 million. And so it's the same as renting a place outside. So in Indonesia, the term called kos is very famous, and kos means there is, let's say, a house or a building specifically meant for people to rent out one room, live there, and that's how it works. There are students costs, there are costs for girls, there are courses different for boys, there are mixed courses, there are courses for working people, so it really depends. For me, this year I am not living in a course. We actually were given accommodation by our campus as a compliment for 1 year, and it's their guest house something. So for this year I'm living there, but starting from September I will have to move to a different place. And I have seen a cost, I have done some research, and the cost is around 1.5 million. Well, the price of the cost, it really depends on the city that you are living in. I live in Surabaya. Surabaya is the second largest city in Indonesia and in Java, and it's actually very urbanized. It's a bit like Jakarta, and Jakarta is really expensive. So the costs of a room in Jakarta, Surabaya will be different from those in Yogyakarta or Malang. So let's say the room that I'm getting here in Surabaya for 1.5, the same type of room maybe in Malang. Malang is another small city near Surabaya. So maybe in Malang I will get it for 1 million. So it depends on the city that you want to live in. Then the price starts from 1 million to 1.5. I am sure that any course which is above 1 million, they all have ACs. They have AC and fridge and other facilities. But the courses which are less than 1 million, they may or may not have AC. So you have to do your own research. As for in Surabaya, it's very hot. So I don't think it's possible for me to survive without AC in a room. So it depends on you which city you are in. So if you are in Surabaya, I'd suggest take a course with the AC. It's very hot during summers. So 1.5 for a course. And then the electricity, usually it is separate. You have to pay separately for the electricity, and the electricity for a month might be somewhere around 100k to 200k. So let's estimate, depending on the standard, depending on the way you want to live. Let's say per month you need 1 million or 2 million just for the living, just for your accommodation. So you can do your own calculations depending what I say, but for me, personally, I spent 2 million on the place where I stay. So we had 4.7 and we are cutting out 2 from it, so we got 2.7 left with us. Now the second most important thing is food. And per month, every month I spend around 1 million to 1.5 million on food. In Indonesia, I think the really good thing is like there are so many warungs. Warungs are like little shops which sell actual food, like not snacks and all, but actual food like lunches and dinners. So you can just go there, you can eat, and a meal costs around 15k to 20k. You have 3 meals a day, so it means you are spending 60k per day. The estimated cost, with like maybe you buy snacks outside, or you want to go hang out, you want to eat outside, so it will be like 1 million or 1.5 million per month for food. This is about the small shops outside. If you go to a mall, if you want to eat in an expensive restaurant, it will be 100 to 200k per meal. So it depends. Let's say in a month you want to go outside, eat in an expensive restaurant. So let's say you spend 1.5 million on food every month. So we had 2 million spent on dormitory or the accommodation, and we spent 1.5 million on the food. So we have now 1.5 million left. Now in these 1.5 million, I have to cover the transportation, the hanging out and outside things I go, and then some savings. So when it comes to transportation, in Surabaya we have public transports, but the most convenient way, the most commonly used mode of transport in Indonesia is like Grab and Gojek. So it's like Ola, Uber. So you can just book a cab or a motorbike online and they take you to places. Gojeks and Grabs are really expensive. If you want to go someplace, the price starts from 10k and it keeps increasing depending upon the distance. So until now I was using Grab and Gojek just to go anywhere, and I used to end up spending around 500k per month or 1 million just for the transportation to go to places, hanging out, going to malls and places. So, but recently I started using the public transports in Surabaya, and it is really cheap actually. Well, let's say I'm going to some mall from the place where I live. For Gojek, it used to cost me 220 to 30k one way using a bike. But if I use a Surabaya bus, the public bus, it costs me around 3000. Tigaribu, that's just a 3000. So the cost is like 10 times less, but yeah, again, you have to walk to the stop. But I would recommend you, if you are in Surabaya or in Jakarta. Recently I went to Jakarta, the public transport there is really good too. There are MRTs. If you are studying in Jakarta, you can use the MRTs and the public transport. It is really convenient. But if you are in city, let's say, I don't know about Yogyakarta, I don't think Yogyakarta has public transport. Also, Bali does not have really good active public transport. So let's say you are studying in Bali does not have public transport, so you will have to use Gojek or Grab to just go anywhere. In this situation, I'd say many of the students, what they do here is that if you can drive and if you have a license, you can just buy a second-hand motorbike and you can use it. Let's say for Gojek, I'm spending 50k just to go somewhere per day. For a motorbike, a 10k petrol, the diesel petrol, yeah. So the 10k petrol will last me for 2 or 3 days. So the cost is just halved. So even me, I'm thinking of buying a motorbike, but let's see what happens. So, but I would say, if you are in a city where the public transport is good, utilize it, use the public transport. Also for students, there's some special discount if you show them the ID, so try to do your research. But if you are in a small city, the best thing is to buy a motorbike and utilize it to go anywhere, but make sure you have valid license and all. That's it about the transport. So 1.5, we had 1.5 million left, and from the 1.5 million, let's say 500 you spend on Gojek just to go anywhere on the transport. So we have 1 million left, and from that 1 million, let's say you want to go for outings on weekend, so 500 are gone. Like 4 outings, you have 4 outings, so maybe you go for a movie, maybe you have some expensive meal outside, so 500 are gone. So let's say the other remaining 500 from the 1 million, 500k, we can save it. So this is the breakdown of the total cost or money you spend. To be honest, this breakdown is actually for a very, very way too comfortable lifestyle. But the 4.7 million that I get, I'm trying to save around 1 to 1.5 million. So it depends on you, the way you are spending. For me, from few months I was able to save 1 to 1.5 million every month, and that's actually a good thing. So the conclusion is, if you want to live in Indonesia, if you are a student in Indonesia, the minimum cost that you need every month is around 3 million. You need at least 3 million just to have okayish living. But if you want to slightly increase the way of your living, I think 4 million to 4.5 million will be enough, more than enough. And if you want to live a very luxury life, good luck to you. It depends, it really depends on the person. So yeah, that is it. I think that is all the information that I should be giving in this video. If there's anything else you want to know, just let me know in the comments. Just ask me in the comments. Also, I'm really sorry, but please do not text me on Instagram. For some reasons, I do not reply to any message on Instagram. But if you have any questions, do jot it down in the comments. I will definitely reply, and any doubt you have, just ask me. Yeah, that is it. I hope this video helped you, and yeah, welcome to Indonesia. I hope you have a good stay here and enjoy studying. Bye bye.